Welcome back. One final point before we go tonight. An American author by the name of Jenny Trout, and don't worry, I'd never heard of her until last night either. This author, Jenny Trout, caused a firestorm on Twitter last night when she vocalized what a lot of us conservatives suspected liberals thought. Trout tweeted, and I quote, "If you are a MAGA or a Second Amendment enthusiast, I legitimately do not care about your life or your well-being or the lives and well-being of your family. I don't care if you can't defend yourselves against intruders or whatever. I just don't care if you live or die." Lovely, right? This, just weeks after Hillary Clinton wrote off white women who voted for Trump, saying they were controlled by their domineering husbands and too dumb to think for themselves. This, just months after the chairman of the Democratic National Committee, Tom Perez, said pro-life candidates were not welcome in the Democratic Party. There was no room for them, I think were his words. After any woman who dares to oppose abortion was disinvited from the Women's March. And of course, after Hillary Clinton wrote off half the country as a basket of deplorables who were irredeemable. Are we supposed to be surprised to hear such hatred and disdain from the left? Now, the reason I brought this up, this is exactly why our Constitution is so critically important. Because people like Jenny Trout, who don't care about our rights or whether we live or die, people like Jenny Trout would deny us our right to life, to liberty, and to the pursuit of happiness just because she doesn't like us and our political views. We the people, the deplorables, the Second Amendment enthusiasts, whatever you want to call us, we as Americans need the right to defend ourselves because of people like her. People who want to force me to shut up. People who want to change our laws to prohibit me from talking about my values. People who want to outlaw so-called hate speech when you really just mean any speech that offends your feelings. People who want to take away my right to self-defense, my right to bear arms, my protection against government tyranny because they're too lazy to deeply research firearms statistics and studies that show banning guns doesn't stop crime and violence. You liberals preach tolerance, but you hate people who don't act like you. You liberals preach inclusion, but you ostracize people who think differently than you. You liberals preach against bigotry and against hatred, but you spew vitriol towards anybody who didn't vote for your candidate. You liberals accuse us Republicans of hateful rhetoric while you blame mass shootings on innocent law-abiding gun owners like me and millions of others. You prop up 17-year-old kids who call all Republicans sick effers. You call the NRA a terrorist organization, yet you won't even label radical Islamic terrorists as radical Islamic terrorists. And now you want us to give up our gun rights because you, somebody who actually just said you don't care whether we live or die, told us to give up our guns. That's insane. And that is my final point. You can reach me on Twitter at Liz_Wheeler. If you liked the show, please send me an email at oann.com/contact. In the meantime, catch us here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, and until then, have a good night.